And we are live. Good evening. It's Friday. You guys know we got something good to talk about today. This is Chef Dennis. I got me a guest, is Leader. And of course, you guys know my co-host, Tanika Graves, superstar. You know what I mean? So today we're going to talk about abortion, which is something most people don't like to talk about. I mean, but everybody has their own view, and this is a place from just understanding the women's perspective, and just it's me against two young ladies. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about it. Everybody has their own views on it and what they think about it. So we're going to start out with, of course, our guest. Leader, what do you think about abortions? And of course, when I ask you that, I know there are different levels of abortion. So I wanted to know how you look at that and your view on that.
Well, my view on it, and I'm just be honest, with the Roe versus Wade being passed in back when it was passed, it's always a woman's right to choose whether it was abortion, rape, force, accident, whatever. I think it's a woman's right to choose, period. Everybody has their preference. Of course, I'm a Christian, so I know how I was raised. I was raised in the church, and my pastor would say different. My church people would say different. However, um, it's my body, my choice. Um, so with me, I'm gonna do what Lita wants to do, which is gonna be my right. Um, for anybody else, that's gonna be their choice, their right. I'm not telling someone what to do, but I don't believe that no man, woman, or anybody in a higher power should tell us what to do. Um, because no one has to sit there and carry the kid or carry this burden. We do. And so, why should we have to have someone tell us what to do with our bodies? And that's my stand and opinion on it. It's so much going on with it with this election that's coming up as well. So, that is the reason why my choice or my vote is going towards a certain candidate. Um, you know, I mean, it could be several reasons why I would not vote for a certain candidate, but because of this choice, my vote is going to go towards this certain political party because you're not going to tell me what I am going to do as a woman with my body. When we start getting into that politically, you should not tell any woman or any man what they're going to do with their bodies.
Okay. Tanika, what do you have to say about that?
I
Can you?
completely agree. Lita got it. She said it. She's exactly right. I mean, I know the beginning of abortion was meant to kill a certain race of people, and we are that race. It was brought into the world for that reason. And now it has changed. We have become a different type of people. We don't have the same, structure of life as the past. And now we women have the authority to say what we want for our lives. It took a lot to get here where we're at, but women's rights were ignored. So now all of a sudden we're coming into a life where y'all should have known. Men and women, y'all came from a woman. Why did you think that you had control over a woman? So I agree with Lita completely. The church has stood on a grounds of the abortion because, and I truly believe it's more political than anything, because we take the Bible so literally that we don't really take the small pieces of what life can bring in a negative way and apply it in a way where a woman still has a right to say, no, I don't want this. This child cannot be born in this way. So I agree with her.
Okay, so I listen to you guys. I got some facts right here, and uh, first of all, abortion is termination. That means to end something. That's right. Is that right?
Right.
Hmm.
Okay. Now, statistics says financial reasons women decide to have an abortion 40%, and then 36% says because of the timing of them having a child, it's bad timing. So 36% of it, because of timing, they say, I'm gonna get an abortion, right? And then 31% says it's partner related. So they're gonna have an abortion because this person might not be the man for me to have a child with. So that's 31% for partner reasonings, right? And then 29% says that they're gonna have abortion because they have other children and they need to focus on those other children, so they don't need another child. So they're going to say, you know what, I'm going to get an abortion because I have 3 children already. I can't deal with another one. So they decide to have an abortion, right? Those are some of the statistics about abortion. But now listen to this. See, and I have sympathy and empathy for women. Sometimes they are in situations where they have to make a decision on keeping a child, and we have to understand that sometimes things happen that's out of our control. And when you talk about a woman getting raped, that's something out of our control. You know what I'm saying? Things happen, and that's beyond the visual part of the eye. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know what transpired. And I'm not saying that a woman deserves to get raped. I'm not saying that. I'm saying we do not know what transpired for those things to happen. We don't have control of some of the things. Sometimes people do some ruthless things that cause people pain, suffering. You know what I'm saying? So what my thing is this: when things like that happen, and you got to put God is the creator of all things. So why would God allow these things to happen to certain individuals? Because show us my name, Dennis. He does not work like that. He does not operate like that. There are things that happen for a reason, and it does not always have to be negative. It's something that's going to be good that comes out of it. And I'm not talking about just, I'm not saying that it's how can I say this so I can be, sympathetic to what I'm saying. There are cases where people get raped, right? And they have to decide whether they're going to have an abortion or not, right? So where do God play in a part in that? You understand what I'm saying? God don't. So I'm asking you ladies, God don't play a part in that?
God does play a part in it, yes. I guess
So,
that when it goes back religiously,
no, but
and
go
when
ahead.
you have to, and this is what I have to do, because this is such a touching subject for me, and
Yes.
because I've had procedures done before. You And I personally, I don't know what any other woman is going to do. You have to open your mouth and pray and ask God for forgiveness, and you deal with that on your own personal time. But I had to pray and ask God forgiveness. And when I walk on my deathbed and be able to meet my creator, that is something I'm going to have to deal with, me and my God. However, if I know it's not a good situation for me and that child, I'm not going to put myself in a situation. And this is not where a situation where I have gotten raped or anything else. It's where a financial situation where I felt like I couldn't do it at the time. And I did what I needed to do. It was less than a 6-week time span. And I believe at the time a heartbeat was not even there. So it was abortion by pill. So I needed to do what I needed to do. I tried to do it as quick as I could. And the one before that was the morning after. So
So
ag-
yeah.
again, and I would like to say it was my right to choose. But these politicians are taking that right away from me.
Mm-hmm.
And when we go back to 1922, where it was given for me to have that right, now y'all are going years and years back and trying to flip laws and change laws. If they can do that just as quickly, they can flip slavery just like that.
Oh, girl, what you saying?
So,
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
all right. So I heard you say earlier, something about because, and remember I told you the statistics, I read the statistics down, right? And that was
Right.
one of them about financial, right?
Right.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Now, you don't have to answer this question. It could be personal, so you don't have to answer this. But the individual that you had sex with, right? You had
Hmm.
That's consensual, right?
It was consensual at the time. Yeah.
So guess what? So in the process of you doing that, right? You knew the consequence by having sex with this individual, right?
My birth control failed at the time as well. So I had a decision that I had something in place that
right.
was supposed to prevent pregnancy.
Now,
Because it did not prevent pregnancy,
okay.
the incident happened. So if I'm doing all that I need to do, we're using condoms, I'm using a contraceptive, and I get pregnant and it happened, I felt like I did everything right.
You did?
I was in college,
You should have been having
financially,
sex.
financially, my parents were still supporting me. So what was I gonna do? Bring a child home from college? I was 19 at the time.
But
I could no,
no. This is a discussion, and it's not like I respect everybody's
no.
opinion, everything. But where's accountability at? But see, you want. There's a responsibility that you have to take on. You said you was doing everything. It's still a responsibility. I'm not the one to say I didn't have a child when my first child was when I was 20 years old. I had, as a man, I had a responsibility. I took that responsibility. You know what I'm saying? I did the things I was supposed to do, but still, for me, everybody's different. For me, my child is, I love my children, right?
Mm-hmm.
But because I was disobedient, right, to my parent, my mother told me not to deal with this woman, right, this person, and said, listen, if you do this, this is what's going to happen. And sure enough, everything that happened, everything was that my mother said it was going to happen, happened. You know what I'm saying? So I was warned not to do that, but I did it anyway. And guess what? Because of my obedience, the result was me having a child at 20 years old. And guess what? I had to step up to the plate and be a father at 20 years old. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that at 19, you having sex, guess what? It's a responsibility. You got to say, listen, I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm going to do it because I enjoy doing it right now. It comes with a consequence. Oh, you shake your head to me. Talk. Because everything we do comes with a consequence.
I mean, come on now. You're really kind of taking away the part of sexuality. Sexualness is real. And we, as far as the church especially, they take that and put it as a bad thing. They make it seem like, you're not supposed to have sex. But sexual beings that we are to procreate, create, to continuously bring people into the world. Come on. Like, you really think that we're not being responsible when we say, oh, you feeling good, baby, and then you get into bed with somebody and then end up pregnant. That's on the woman. But the man is the one that knows when the time will come when all that goes right up in her. And that should be responsible for a man. Mm-hmm. Now, that is something that a woman will not know, but only a man, but always put on the woman as if it was her choice. Come on. Lita, do you understand what I'm saying?
I agree.
Okay.
But look, you
because the first thing y'all want to say, and I can concur. Oh, you on the pill, right? Or are you on something, right? Mm-hmm. Or should I pull out? When the first thing before we even get started is, should I? What color rubber or what kind?
Mm-hmm. But that, I think, to me, I mean, listen, that's the individual that individual is dealing with, because they ask that question. You on a pill or you taking something for? Guess what? So once you tell them, that gives them the green light to say, all right, well, you take it.
Be reckless.
You're gonna be reckless. If you don't want to have a kid either, then you should go ahead and use the rubber as well. But y'all want to feel good.
Mm-hmm. You want to get that in action.
And then guess what? And don't say this, we do, you guys do. You just said the sexual part, right? The sexual part. Yeah, that comes from both. But guess what? As women, they don't want to take the responsibility of you say, hold up, wait a minute. I'm trying to figure something out. I'm trying to figure something out. Guess what? Who has more control of what goes on in the bedroom? Is it the man or is the woman? Because guess what? If the man forces himself on a woman, that's rape. But if the woman invites you in and say, yes, take her clothes off, and guess what? Come on. You seductive. You seduce me. Okay. I'm going to get that.
Lita, let me say it like this.
Yeah, come on.
For him to understand.
I understand.
Okay. The man's sperm is what makes a woman pregnant, right?
Correct.
And only the man knows when the time will come when it will flow into her. Who is the one that should be responsible then to say yes or no, I'm going to have a baby? The man.
Man, what? Say responsible. You're gonna have a
That's
baby.
why y'all have a dominant. We have a recessive gene. Y'all
Yeah.
have a dominant
So
gene.
you are the ones that are giving it.
Bro, I get
Sperm.
that. I get that. I
Okay,
get
so
that.
why don't you understand that it's not all women that should be responsible? It is all men that should be responsible. The ejaculation part is what makes the baby.
Okay, I'm not saying that the men don't have responsibility. I'm not saying that because if you really want to get technical, right? If you want to get technical, so because I see y'all talking about biblical, right? So if you want to be biblical about it, guess what? What happened to Adam and Eve? Huh? I don't hear y'all. I don't hear you. What, leader? What happened to Adam and Eve?
I believe Eve was told not to eat the
Now,
forbidden fruit.
Eve was the one who was persuasive and said to Adam, "Here, eat of this fruit."
That's the story they tell.
That's what they told.
If that's the story they tell,
That's
can
the
women
story.
nowadays be very persuasive to men to make them do certain things that they
Of
should not be doing?
course, because that's
Okay,
what we
so
do.
it basically what I'm saying to you is that women have the ability, because you know they use a different part of their brain, so they have the ability to manipulate some men, and
Oh,
don't gotta be. What you
come
mean?
on.
No, you gotta
Come
find a woman.
on.
She
When
open her legs up and you
sex,
straight, huh?
when sex is happening, and there is a time when you know you are possibly going to make a baby, who is responsible? Which one, the male or the female?
Oh no, they both responsible.
No, Lita, do you get what I'm trying to say? Maybe I'm not
So
saying it right.
leader, y'all not responsible, leader?
Who's the responsible? Who's the one that can put it in to make a baby?
Y'all put it in to make a
Okay.
baby.
So
And guess
pull
what?
out. Pull out.
Pull out.
When you know you about to, stop. You don't want to have a baby, don't sit up here and blame the woman. And don't put responsibility and accountability on a woman. It's
We
yours.
can't hold y'all and scrap how much power you think we can hold y'all to scrap y'all in to make y'all not pull out?
Exactly, girl.
Okay.
Tell it.
All right. So in other words, I feel that. I get that. But now check this out. Now, what happens when let's go to another example. Okay. You have two people that's married, right? And
Mhm.
now they get married, they in love, right? Even though they discuss this, oh yeah. But in the back of the mind, the woman don't want to have a child, right? She don't want to have a
Mhm.
child, but she married. She don't want to have a child. She'll never tell her husband that. He finds out that she don't want no children. Then what happens? Tell me what happens then. Now she don't want no children, right?
Mhm.
We talk about abortion. Now watch this. She do not want any children. Now you said the laws and everything, right? It's a slippery slope. It's true a slippery slope. Now you have two couples. You have a man who wants a child, right? Because people can be deceiving and conniving and they do stuff. It's possible and it has been done. And you guys know this. Woman gets married. She don't want no children. She don't tell a guy. The guy wants a child, right?
Mhm.
She gets pregnant. She don't want it. She go and have an abortion. That's right. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Tell me, Talita, is that fair? And don't say that people don't do that. They do that.
I mean, I've seen different scenarios on they've had different like TV shows, movies, this, that, or whatever. Where I feel like if you're in a marriage, I just feel like it has to be conversations had. Um,
Go ahead. I'm
it,
sorry.
it has to be conversations had. In the end, still, I'm going to stand my ground where a woman has a right to choose what she's going to do. However, when you become a union, there it, it's different. If you're in a single relationship, you know what I'm saying? You're going to do what you're going to do. But when you become a union and join a union with a man and a woman, there's conversations that need to be had.
Yeah.
I believe it was a movie. I think it was, I can't think of the actors, but Tay Diggs was in the movie. It was a rendition of with the Julia Roberts flick. And the woman, she wanted to have kids. And the dude, he didn't want to have kids. So she was trying to get pregnant. and she didn't know why she couldn't get pregnant. Well, the dude, which was
Mhm.
her husband, he had been taking some things so he couldn't get pregnant. But long story short, she ended up getting pregnant, and he got angry and upset with her. And he was beating on her anyway, but she ended up faking her death, getting away from him. But at
Oh.
the end of the day, the conversation, because they were joining the union, he had already communicated with you that he didn't want to have kids.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
if he already told you that, then what you doing?
Mm-hmm. I
All
want
right.
to know
We
about
we
that
have a we
movie. I
have
want to
a
know the name.
Right. I
I
forget the
do
name of it, but I just watched it again the other time, just like 2 days ago. I was like,
Okay.
now that right there, that's deep.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
uh, um all right, so somebody made a comment. I'm going to say what they said. They said the devil has a lot of followers, but God will use a bad situation and make it great. So they want me to add them to the podcast. So I'm gonna see if they email me. But that's a good thing. That's good. That's something good to say. Look, you said you see
Yeah,
what I
that's
said.
something good to say. That's
Look,
basically saying that if a person has an abortion, there's good in it.
Yes.
Yep,
huh?
that's how I
The
interpret it. That's
the
what you
oh
read.
that's how you interpreted
That's
it.
what I heard.
Okay,
Because
the
what you
devil
think is
has a
bad,
lot. Uh huh.
what you think is the devil and what you think is bad, and what everybody's doing, the A, it still has good in it because God blessed everything, even the evil.
And I
Huh?
think we kind of deterring away from too, uh, Dennis, we're getting back on this politics thing. And when
Oh.
we read deep into what they're doing with the new law, because when it first hit the fan with this new law, I was like, what? The Supreme Court is reversing Roe versus Wade. I said, but how though?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I said, how are we doing this? And then it hit the fan. They had started saying that you couldn't get an abortion here, there, this state, that state. I was like, what? When in North Carolina, I believe you couldn't even get anything past 20 anyway. Like you had to go to Atlanta, Georgia to get anything past that. My thing is okay because I know how a child forms. If you're trying to go past 20 weeks anyway, you're murdering a child because a baby start moving anyway. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't made a decision before then, that's you. What's taking you so long?
Right.
Um, it either you got some financial stuff going on or you need some assistance. I don't know what a woman's issue is, but you should be able to get it done. I was able to get mine done pretty quickly, but up to 27 weeks, I think, was the latest you could get an abortion. To me, 27 weeks is just blatant outright murder.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Well, so it's just it's sometimes. I mean, like I said, we talking about it. It's a tough situation. It's a tough decision. But I'm like this: people don't want to take accountability of their actions sometimes, and and accountability of the actions result in having a child.
Okay,
And
let me say something real quick. All right.
yes,
I've said this before. We live in a world where we eat animals and
Hmm.
we feel no shame about it. We don't have no problem taking the life of an animal and calling it domestic for our benefit.
Hmm.
Now
taking
you
the
put,
life of an animal.
yeah, you're killing an animal. You're eating an animal. You eat meat. I know you eat meat.
Of
So
course, I
so many people eat meat, but yet we sit up here and take that part of life that if it was made to be done, to be used and
Hmm.
utilized when it comes to abortion, it was made for good. And I don't care what you think the devil said it is, it was evil. It is made for good because everything that is made can be made for good and evil. Okay? So when you look at a person that has an abortion and you put them as, oh, you're wrong and you want to judge them, sit in the seat of judgment and don't know
Hmm.
nothing. You have no idea because you're eating animals and you have no problem eating animals that have been slaughtered and killed just, to live for your benefit. But yet
Right.
you want to judge another person and say a woman has no right to say that she don't want to have a child. That's silly.
We already feel bad enough as it is because we got to go in there and get one. I mean, and I'm not going to say after, I don't think any woman after any procedure has gotten up and just said, "Oh, I feel great."
Right.
But uh, uh, that's the crazy part right there. What you just said, Lita. That's crazy. You do that, right? But you feel bad. Why? Why? I can't tell you. I'm a man, so I can. But that is a feeling that's inside of you. No matter what, you still feel bad about it, and you still do it because guess what? It's an emotional ride. I say emotional ride because guess
Mhm.
what? Nobody has to go through that but that individual. But it's a feeling that's internal that you can't take away from it. It's internal. So when you do that, whether you say is right or wrong, but guess what? When you sad, you cry. When you sad, you feel some type of way. It's nothing you don't have control over how you feel sometimes. It's sometimes you can see something and you get emotionally attached by what you see. Right or wrong, Tanika? Right or wrong?
I mean,
I'm
that's
asking
every
you.
situation. Every
No, what I'm
situation
saying.
is like that.
I'm just saying sometimes we can see things and be emotional about what we see.
I
You
know, and
understand?
that's what I'm saying. In every situation, it can be emotional, but
Right.
the emotions have to be, looked at from the perspective of the situation. And so, when it comes to a woman and she's made that choice, the next time or where she gets off that table, whatever where she's at, and she says it's all done and the baby's gone, there's an emotional feeling because she's a woman. She knew she had life in her. And all she's
Mhm.
saying is basically, every woman feels that feeling of just pain because it was them, their child in
Mhm.
them. And
Eh,
only a woman can
mhm.
feel that. So it has nothing to do. I mean, emotions are real. I mean, I acknowledge that. But the point is, Lita's making it is a woman's choice.
And my fear, Dennis and Tanika, is like I said, we are not. We are progressively supposed to be moving forward. We're moving backwards, and we're moving backwards slow. You're reversing laws that were already put in place. They're starting with one of the laws that one of the very first ones that were passed, a woman's right to choose.
Hmm.
So what you gonna do next? As I said, it's coming.
I know slavery, girl. I know. But
They
look,
gonna
ask you.
it's
I
coming.
have a question.
No, you
I
you
don't.
get
I have a question, Lita. Can you tell us what you see as far as the politics and how it is changing? Like, I don't follow politics very well. I have people tell me I do know about, the reversal, but what is it that you see that upsets you?
The worst that I have seen that it has gotten, and they've gotten the opposite race has gotten extremely bold. Where in the 90s, 80s, they were calmer. They would be more courteous and polite.
Mhm.
Now they just a blatant outright bump into you, say something out of the way to you. Like I was in Family Dollar with my son during Trump's era when he was in the White House. And had my son holding my place in line. And I said, son, stay right here. And I'm going to go back and get some laundry detergent. And when I came back, I got in line. Well, it was a white dude behind me, or behind my son. And I jumped in line where my son was. I just fell in line. And he was like, excuse me. And I was like, no, excuse you. This is my son. He was like, you black bitch. I was
Mm,
like, excuse me.
mm,
So me and him started beefing. But I'm just like, I'm a woman. And I'm looking at him. But for him to come out of his mouth, and I'm a black woman, to
mhm,
call me a black bitch, and he angered my son, and in front of my son, who was 15 at the time,
mhm.
my son arguing with him. But for him to feel like the right that he could come out of his mouth like that, back in the 90s, he would have never.
Right. Yeah.
So it's just the things that they say, like they feel like they had a right to say what they say. And these days, they just more bolder these days. And then after January the 6th, they really got like nonsense. And I believe it's because when the president that we had in the White House at the time, you know, he say all kinds of nonsense and say off the wall shit. He give them the right to say what they gonna say. And you know, not that I'm disrespecting Donald Trump, you know what I'm saying? Because I watched him on The Apprentice. I mean, he's very entertaining, but he blatant bold out the mouth, just say crazy things. But it's like we lead by example, and this is what they're taking. They're leading, taking off of his leadership, so they just doing what he telling them that they can do.
Yeah, I understand. I completely get it too, and you're right.
And then I work for Mecklenburg County organization, so I'm around a bunch of yes, good old boys. So I really got to watch what I say. And just as the other day, and I'm gonna give a perfect example. You know, I was doing a permit for a guy today, and so I was like, you know, your application is not all the way complete. And so I was trying to tell him this, that, or whatever. And I was like, so you don't have your X number on here. Where's that? You see it. You know, he talking to me like that. And I'm an African American woman. It's just almost like they be trying to taunt you this, that, or whatever. So I said, sir, you know what? With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get somebody else to process this for you, because I'm not going to have you talk to me like this. So I went and got someone else of his peer, of his color, to process his application. Whole attitude change. I ain't
That's
got
what
time
he
for
wanted. You gave him what he wanted, girl. You gave him what he wanted. You should have been like, okay, you having a bad day because you coming at me all wrong. You know what? Are you gonna
right.
get on my ass? You know what? You gonna like me? You know, get to them, get on their level, and just be like nasty, nice to them. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Nice, nasty.
Yeah.
You got, but hey, Alita, but listen, see she talk about being nice and nasty, right? Listen, your response is everything. You know what I'm saying? Whether somebody be, and it's hard, you know how they say in the Bible, turn the other cheek. It's a way, it's a
It'd
way
be
to
hard.
handle.
I
No,
know.
but it's a way to handle people like that. It's truly is. Some people don't believe it, but it is. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be, and see, that's where your attitude is important. You know what I'm saying? It's how you respond to their you know, if they coming in nasty and they not being polite to you. No matter what they do, you still supposed to be above them and
Yeah.
respond totally different. And when you respond totally different, listen, because we have to make a difference. How do
And
we make a difference?
that's why politics shouldn't be discussed in church work. That's why.
Of course, because and guess what? And that's the biggest thing right there. That's the two things. And because I work in corporate, and there's two things they require you not, what they say don't do is politics and religion. Because why? Because you can hurt somebody's feelings by based on how you feel, your beliefs, what you think is right. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be mindful. And that's the same thing with people that do these ignorant things. You got to be mindful who you're dealing with, because at the end of the day, trust me.
This conversation has been brought up at work about the abortion thing.
Yeah.
And again, it was something that we was just discussing today, because I was telling him, I'm about to be on a podcast and we're discussing it. And it was a bunch of women there, and we all pretty much had the same, perspective that me and Tanika had. And, but then it was a couple of males that we had, and they was like, but what about our rights? So what we don't get a say so, just like you did it. And I said, well, what you mean? And dude was like, well, what if we was married and then you just jumped up and got the abortion? You ain't gonna just tell me, but we met. I was like, and that's what I'm getting to. It's still my right to choose. No. We're in a union. I was like, well, I mean, I guess it's something that has to be discussed, as I said. But I mean,
but you remember, like, all right. So let's think. Like, look, let's what you just said. Like, I'm going to speak in their behalf. You know what I'm saying? Listen, in the biblical sense, right? You become as one. You understand me? When you become as one, how can you make a decision? People do it. How can you make a decision because it's your body, but you and that individual became one? So there is no, let me make a decision. Has it been done? Do people do it? Yes, they do it. But it's selfish if you say, this is my body. I'm gonna do what I want to do with my body. But then one person says, look, that's my child. Look, regardless, we'll get through it. We'll do whatever it takes. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's hard to say that this individual, this man is a jacked up guy. But guess what? At the end of the day, you chose that man. You chose to be with that man. So guess
that's hard. That's hard. Then I think that's hard. That's hard because that's why.
That's it. There you go. There you go.
It's very hard. That's why I'm glad. I mean, I'm not single. I'm in a relationship, but I'm not in a marriage union. If I was in a marriage union, I don't know. I would say it's hard.
But look, think about it like this. Y'all have to look at it as the woman has every right. She's the one that's going to say how she's going to eat when she's pregnant, while she's pregnant, how she's going to care for herself, if she's going to do drugs or not, if she's going to smoke, if she's going to drink. It's her choice. All of it. Every part of it. How she will carry that child. No man can sit up here and tell a woman how to be. And now, if she wants to be the submissive, we're going to use that word, submissive type, and do as her husband tells her or her man tells her, then yes. But if you're going to be that rebel and be like, nah, I'm going to do what I want to do because you know what? I like this and it's all bad for you. Then you have a child in you. That's still a woman's right.
All right,
because when you think about, bring the other person on. Well, you think about, have y'all ever, y'all heard about how they do I think it's in China.
What they have a limit on the children, or did
they have a limit on the kids?
Right.
I think it's 2. Mm-hmm. So you get pregnant with a third one. Guess what they doing after that?
They throw them off a cliff.
You got to get an abortion, or they dying. They capping you. So what you think about that?
What you think about that? The government is telling them. That's a good point, Lita. Go ahead, girl.
Hold on, Lita. I got you. Hold on. Let me get this.
See that he won't be distracted. You know.
No, I'm not distracted. I'm bringing the other guest in.
That's so true, though.
Right.
And you know what? I honestly think it's all about authority. Everybody's trying to take somebody else's authority for their damn life. Y'all need to put the hell down and live your own life.
All right.
All right.
I'm sorry, Lita. Can you repeat that again, Lita? Because I was trying to do that and I wasn't. I'm sorry, I wasn't really.
So I believe it's in China. It's in China or one of them communist countries that after 2 kids, they capping the child. Like if you get a boy, have more than 2 children, they cutting it. You can't have more than 2. They telling you no.
That's their government, right?
That's the government. So what you think about that?
All right, so listen, now watch this. That's the difference because now what you're saying is that's their law. So because that's their law, so you have to figure out how you're going to do that because guess what? That's their law. So in their country, if they say that, right, you gotta obey their law. Hold on.
So it all depends on where you were born.
Somebody said they think they took that cap off.
They might have.
They might have.
Yeah, because
it was there for a long time.
That's a big thing. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I don't know.
Well, because when I heard it, I was appalled. I was like, so they over there telling them that they capping kids. I was like, what?
Yeah. See, so
that's madness.
Now that's madness. That's truly madness. So when you talk about stuff like that, now that's something you really gotta think about. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not cool at all. So but
I think they was having a population issue or something going on over there. I don't know. And they was putting a cap on it or whatever. I was like, wow. I mean, is that many people over there?
Yeah.
But Lita, back to what you were saying. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What are you saying?
I mean, because if that's the case, I mean, I ain't trying to, and that's why I don't have that much opinion about people like they be trying to talk about Country Wayne or Nick Cannon. I don't care what nobody doing if they want to, they can have as many kids if they want to have. That's on them. That's on their baby mama, whatever. I'm talking about what Lita wants to do with her body. If I'm single, and even my child, I had a situation where. And I'm going to just say this and I'm going to, be clear with where I stand with abortion. My daughter, she was 16 at the time. And I came home this particular day and her boyfriend's brother and her was
Lita, hold on. I just want to make sure listen, I'm being honest because I'm very transparent. some of this information, you do not have to put that out there. So you
Right.
don't have to, you know what I'm saying? I want you to be understanding that this is live.
Yeah, I'm just
Okay.
I know.
I just want you
I
to know that
mean, but
because
it's some stuff that people know. But I'm saying they were sitting in the house
okay.
and they thought, and I was like, "What's up?" And well, she pregnant. I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." But we already made an appointment to go to the clinic. I was like, "So we speaking French now?"
Go ahead.
And he was 17 at the time, and he was like, "Yeah, we." I said, "No, we can't do nothing because I'm her mother and she's a child." I was like, "So this is how this is gonna go." I was like, "So I'm gonna take responsibility for her." I was like, "And we'll go from there." They had the older brother acting like he was the parent, and they had already made an appointment at the clinic. I was like, nah, there ain't none of this gonna go down. But I made that decision as her mother because at the time she was 16 years old and she was gonna go to college just like that. Now, did I give her a right to choose? When she left, when her boyfriend and them left, we had a conversation. And I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe this is not something that you want to do. Talk to me and tell mom what you want to do. So we did have that conversation. She said, well, mom, I really want to go to school. I got things that I want to do. I really don't want to have a child right now. It just seems like he's mad at me if I do. I was like, but what do you want to do? So when she told me what she wanted to do, then we rolled from there. Again, another situation where her right to choose.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
It was her right. You gave it to her. You let her talk. You let her speak. That's exactly what should be done.
And
Right.
look, and as you should is that's a choice. You have the right to choose, what you want to do with your body, and that's respectable. I respect that. But see, the only thing I think I understand, and I mean I understand. Well, I see something different is that we know the consequences that comes from doing that. Now, I'm a person who had a child when I was young, 20 years old. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm being very transparent. I lost my, I as a man, what I mean, I feared my father. You know what I'm saying? We gotta look at
Mhm.
all those factors that put it in. Let's put it in perspective. Is that because I feared my dad? I didn't have no sex when I was in high school. Not until I was a senior. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I was like, yo, this is me because of my parents, right? How they kept me. They's like, oh, you have a kid. I feared my dad. So guess what? I was like, heck no. So I ain't had no sex when I was in high school, right? I was like, forget this. Never talked about it. Never discussed having sex, and my parents didn't do that. That conversation we didn't have, right? I learned it on going to school and doing all type of stuff, just being bad, right? So my point is this: is that because I had that fear, I didn't do that, so I wasn't going to try to have no children at a young age because, especially, well, the consequence that came with it, me being in high school, and I have a child, then my parents are gonna be like, oh, okay, I gotta work, I gotta do this.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
wasn't ready for that. Like, so my message is this: is that our young children is that even though it's hard to say that because we went through, what I'm saying? We don't want our children to go to the same thing we went through, right?
We do not.
Right, Tanika?
Right. 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 Right.
So my thing is, I don't think most parents nowadays, they young, they have sex, you're gonna have a child. If you have a child, you gotta take care of the child. And no, first thing you do, I said, man, I'm gonna have me some sex, right? And
Mhm.
they know in the back of their mind, shoot, if I get pregnant, I'm not gonna have it.
And I think the welfare system and the
So,
government is making it increasingly easy for these people to have kids because they offer them welfare, they're offering public housing, they're offering them options. Like they're rewarding them for, being in a single parent or a situation like they're subsidizing them.
Mm.
We have to stop that. One of the things that I was like so happy for was welfare reform because I mean, we had people that was on welfare for years and years and years, and I could never believe it. I was staying in public housing, and a lady that was staying next door to me had been on public housing for 27 years before welfare reform had started. I was like, are you ridiculous? Is she crazy? Her rent was $27 when she died.
Mm, wow.
But so hold on, wait a minute. So you saying to me, who you blame for that?
the,
I'm asking,
poli- the
huh?
politicians and the politicians for one, because they're the ones who are letting them do it.
Before they get to that moment, that level,
But they're making it too easy for people. Like, okay, this is the thing. You got to think about it. If you could, some people actually think this. Why would I go out and get a job and work when I can get $1,000 worth of food stamps?
Yeah.
It's some people
A
logically that
lot of
think that.
people.
I hope you're absolutely right. They probably think that, but guess what? Now, before they get to that moment of saying I could get $1,000, right? They land down with an individual that ain't crap, but he look good. He don't got nothing going on, and now they say, you know what? Shoot, Jacob, he could leave. I know I'm gonna go downtown and I'm gonna get this money. See what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay,
True.
so at the end of the day, like let's put some blame on somebody else too now, because guess what? They know that this individual is not right for them. They know he ain't nothing. And, you know what I'm saying? They find out, oh man, he don't got no money. He tell me he got money, but guess what? Now they pregnant. Now they say, you know what? All right, Jake, you can leave. Because they know in the back of their mind, okay, I'm gonna go downtown, I'm gonna get these food stands, I'm gonna get money. You know what I'm saying? My kid's gonna be late. Nah, come on. You're right. They're making it easy, but guess what? It ain't so easy where they don't have any right mind to say, you know what? Let me reevaluate or evaluate this guy that I'm going to be messing with. Is he worth my time? Is he worth? No, he just look good. He look like he could give it up good, and that's about it. Come on now, let's talk. Let's be real, and yeah, let's be real and not fake, because that's what happens. They look at stuff like that and they say, you know what? Man, like I don't care what nobody say. I'm gonna give me some of
I
that.
have had some friends who say, "Oh, well, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna get pregnant by him because he a dope dealer, or I'm gonna get pregnant by him. Oh, because he D1. He going to this
Hey,
college.
wait a minute, wait a minute. Hold
He
on,
gonna make
Tanika.
it."
Hold on. I'm sorry, Lita. Dion, if you want to, and listen, I can invite you, because oh man, listen, this is an interesting right here. It's an interesting topic. I got another person they want to come on. Listen, all you gotta do is text me your email and I'll put you right on, because like I got two ladies up here, they trying to beat me up, but now I'm just kidding. But if you want to come on, just I would love to have another man on here, their views and how they see it, because this.
I mean, I would love to have them come on too, because you the only one in it. We getting on you, but y'all men be doing stuff too. Y'all don't be acting like y'all don't be trying to trap us women too.
What?
Hey,
Girl.
listen. I see. Look. See, I'm being very transparent, and why I'm saying being transparent, because look, listen, my mindset was totally different. You know what I'm saying? When I was young, and I got with a woman. I said, you know what? I didn't care about having a child. I didn't think about the consequences. I didn't think about the repercussions of me having a child at a young age. You know what I'm saying? So because I didn't do that, because I had great parents who raised me right, that's just me. Every man didn't get raised right. You know what I'm saying? Every man don't have great parents. So, you know what I'm saying? You still have to be able to distinguish what type of man do you want. And I guarantee you, most women, we talk about this time of age, new age women right now, they don't care nothing about, some do. There are some classy women who worry about, have you graduated from high school? Do you have a college degree? How long you been on your job? Yes, you have those, some type of women like this. But we talking about the population of the women and men now, they like, yo, he look good. Yeah, oh, he look like he got some money. And the men do the same thing. Oh, look, let me see what I get. Okay. Oh, she gonna pamper me? Oh, I don't gotta work. Okay. She like that. I'm gonna get that. And there you go. Nobody's thinking about the consequences. Nobody's thinking about their actions at the moment. They just thinking about the moment. Tanika, they're thinking about the moment. They say, let you saying that let me pull out. They ain't thinking about that.
No, but they need to, because
Right.
it's not on a woman and it's not all on her. It is him that knows when that time is coming.
And you are absolutely right. And guess what? Like they said, somebody said this in the podcast earlier. It takes two to tangle.
It does take two to tango, and that's why I just do not. The messiest situation is Cardi B and Offset. I'm not understanding because at the end of the
Oh,
day, in a
hold on,
marriage,
hold on. I got one somebody. Hey, okay, we
hey,
got a young man in here. His name is Scooter Mac. What's up, my brother? How you doing?
What's happening, man?
Okay, we got listen. You gonna jump? I know you've been watching. I know you've been listening. What's going on, man? Can you tell us? Can you enlighten us, brother? Can you help a brother out? Let me see what you gonna talk about, man. Let's see if you got some knowledge for me and the crew. We got Tanika and we got Lita and we got Scooter Mac, y'all. Let's see what's going on. How you feel about it today, brother?
All right, man. This the situation as far as like with y'all was talking about like the people you choose and who you be with, and I just I can enlighten y'all like on something that I went through, like with my baby mama. She when I first got with her, what I'm saying, I was young and she was older than me, and then she was like, yeah, this and that right there. But me not knowing, she had 4 kids already. I never knew this.
Okay.
And you know, when she wound up getting pregnant, her auntie came to me and was like, "Hey, you got to do something because the girl she pregnant." I said, "Okay, well that's cool. I'll go get an appointment." And yada yada yada. But the fast forward, is, when I came to her and I was like, "Why you never told me you had 4 kids?" And she said, I didn't think I ain't think you was gonna like me or want to be with me at that moment." So I said, "Well, a real man will accept you no matter what situation you're supposed to be in." You know what I'm saying? But the fact of the matter is, you hear them, they don't bring no default. But the thing about a woman and a man making a choice, at that moment when we were doing what we were doing, we never talked about having no kids. But if I didn't but by me not putting no rub on, and you knew I didn't have none, because I'm quite sure women can tell the difference between her and a rubber, and she never mentioned putting down on, so it ain't always on the man. It sometimes falls on the woman too, because the woman has more knowledge of her body, and the woman can also feel when the man is ejaculating in her.
No. What is wrong?
No,
I'm sorry. Not all men feel the same, and they don't, have a same dick type. So no, women do not know when a rubber is in her all the time. And no, she may not know if a man is pumping hard and they are pumping hard. Okay, but some men don't pump hard, and a woman might not know.
I
wait,
mean, I,
wait a minute. Hold up, Lita. You heard that?
I did hear that, and
I know you don't agree with that, Lita. I know you
I
don't agree with that.
this is my thing. If we dead drunk,
Oh yeah, that's true. That
there it is.
too. That too.
I'm not checking shit,
Oh,
Exactly.
but hold up. Wait a minute.
and
See,
I ain't gonna feel shit. I ain't gonna know shit because we just fucking. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna know what's going on.
I
and
agree.
look, and see, look. All right. That's the whole thing of the topic of the discussion right now. See what you just said. You said if you drunk, right? That
Yep.
means that your thinking is altered. So because your thinking is altered, it's now it becomes your choice and your right to say, you know what? I was drunk last night. So now I was drunk. So now you know what? I didn't know he had no condom on. Now I got now I'm pregnant. So you know what? You look at the situation. Now you say I'm about to go down and I'm about to get
A
abortion.
plan B.
A plan B. Come on. See?
That the plan B ain't no abortion though.
I don't know. I heard of it, but I really don't know the details on that. Maybe it
It's
is.
just
Maybe.
a plan B is just like an in case.
Oh yeah. I don't know about all that, but but that's my point. I know Tanika's probably looking like
No.
she's.
I wanted to ask Scooter. So,
Oh, go ahead.
okay, so Scooter, are you basically saying, what are you saying? Are you saying that it's both people that should be responsible, or do you put more emphasis on one or the other, male or female, who to be the
No,
responsible
I feel like both parties should be responsible because you know what you're getting into when you lay down.
I agree.
And at the end of the day, if you that's like okay, again, and it goes back to my situation, like with me and my baby mom, when me and her fell out,
Mhm.
and a situation came about and I went to jail, like I told her, I'm not gonna use this as an excuse to get away from taking care of my son. So I'll be able to make money and still send it outside of jail to provide for him. But I'm not providing for y'all, it's for him. So at the
Right.
end of the day, when I got out, it was, well, are we gonna be back together? And I was like, no, I don't see that happening, no future, none whatsoever. So at the end, when she tried to, well, she kept trying to hold my child from me using that as a
Mhm.
tool. So I took myself and told her that, hey, look, check this out. I'm gonna go put myself on child support so I can see him and get him. And when I went down there, the judge
What?
happened to be the judge happened to be a woman. So when I explained to her what happened, she asked her, well, um, how does he communicate with his son? And she didn't know how I was talking to my son. And then I told her, well, ma'am, it's through a PS4 app that I'm able to
Mm.
talk to him. And the lady was like, that's unacceptable. I know what that is because her kids play the game. So she was like, well, young man, I'll tell you in front of this young lady, the next woman that you choose to have kids with, you make sure you choose wisely because young women like this give us women a bad taste. And when I realized that right there, she said, but today you have a choice. Because you came in here willfully and wanted to
Oh,
put yourself on child support,
yes.
I'll take that as a gesture of you can do it or I can act like this ain't never happened. And I said, no, I would love to do it. Then when she gave me my paperwork, my baby mama walked off. And the first thing, this is something a judge should never ever do. But, I don't hold it against that young lady. She told me, hey, when you walk outside my courtroom, go to the left, hand them the papers. They'll file it. You'll be able to get your child. But if you don't hand them the papers, don't worry about the child support. I'll make sure you get your child regardless. And I said, so you telling me to walk and leave out of the courtroom and go home? And she said again, like I said, when you walk out to the left, or you can go to the right and go home, and I'll still make sure you get your child. And I said, well, that's cool. So I brought them papers home, and when I got to the house, my baby mama called probably a day later and was like, I don't know what you told that judge, but I don't know how that lady got my number calling me, threatening if I don't bring him and let you see him, she was gonna have me arrested. I said, well, hey, I never threatened you in none whatsoever. I told her not. I didn't tell her to do that. But at the end of the day, if that's to get my child, hey, more power to you. Black power.
Hey, but
Yeah,
hey, see,
yeah.
but look, and I like how he said that. If and look, this ain't I Scooter Mac and Leader. This podcast is not to tear down any community, any
No.
race, or anything. It's about knowledge and just learning and looking at things differently and having a perspective on things because that's
See,
what we need. We sitting here together, we talking, we're not arguing. We all have different views. We all have way we think about things and how we feel about it. But we got to remember that we are trying to help our own kind as well as just people, you know what I'm saying? Making better choices, making better decisions, or doing those type of things because these are the consequences that come with it. And those consequences have action. I mean, your actions have consequences. So, like Scooter said, you got to choose your individual wisely. So if those happen, if those things like that happen, you got to be like, all right, you know what? He's all right guy. And if those things
Mhm.
happen, you go to the next level. Because see, another thing that in this that we talking about, you know what I'm saying? Nobody really don't talk about marriage. Marriage is something serious and sacred. It's private, it's personal, it's intimate. People don't want that because they know they got to give all of themselves to an individual. You know what I'm saying? They just want a quick fix, a quick instant, a quick lay. You know what I'm saying? And it's that's that. That's all they want. They want to
but
see
you
what
know,
they can get out of it. Go ahead.
I
but you
mean,
know, but
it's the fairy tale part of it that a lot of people see, but with this conversation that we have, and a lot of it that I'm seeing is now, like you said, and I just told you, it's hard that because it's a lot of compromising. Because if I did get pregnant and my husband did not, or if I didn't want the child and my husband wanted the child, then it's not something that I can be selfish and make a decision on my own. So
but But that's the thing. It goes back to what I said. Like,
Right.
it's the same thing the judge told me. You know, make a decision, make a better decision on what you choosing, because
Right.
everything that look good ain't good. You know,
Right.
and
Right.
at the end of the day, you know, like, you know, my dad, and that just goes, you know, again with me. My dad told me, you know, he never was in my life, and my dad, when I did get around him, you know, he told me, hey man, listen man, you know, I want to apologize for not being around you as when you was a kid growing up, you know. And then I said, man, you know, I've been forgave you a long time ago, but at the end of the day, I wanted to know what was the reason. And he said, man, the thing was, I had already had 4 kids by a woman, and your mom wound up getting pregnant, so I had to make a choice whether to be with you or be with my 4 kids. And I said, well, you chose the other one, so you know. But it ain't no hard feelings, man, because God gave my mama enough courage and strength, you know, to carry me as a man, you know, and show me certain things that, you know, that I'm supposed to do. So as I got older, I started realizing, like, you know, if I have a child, you know, but I held that anger, you know, until one night I got drunk. And when I talked to my dad, I said, hey man, you know, I apologize to you, man, for, you know, me being the way that I was towards you. And he was like, what you mean? And I said, man, you know, man, I did have a lot of hate towards you, man, you know. And then, like I told him, I said, you know, it's good that you come get your grandchild and everything, dude, but one thing I'm gonna teach him growing up, man, is to not be like you. And he was like, what you mean? I said, because for the simple reason, a man shouldn't have to make a choice between who he gonna be with or not, because if you lay down, you know what you're gonna get up with. And if you're responsible, like we all supposed to be, because trust and believe, when them bills come knocking on your door for you to pay bills, you're responsible enough to get up to go pay them bills. But at the same time, if you laying down with a man, I don't care how much you had to drink, it ain't enough for me to sit here and lie to you and say, hey, look, if I go out and drink a whole bottle of 1800 and I get drunk, I'm gonna come home and I think about what I'm gonna wake up with tomorrow. Nah, because on the way to the house, listen, we conversating, and I know for a fact I'm talking to you good to try to get in the draws. But the whole time we talking, I'm making sure you with the whole plan. And when you tell me, hey, look, you know, everything is everything, and this is how it's all gonna go, and we get to the house and you ain't said put on no rubber, then you know what the consequences is when you wake up in the morning. And then when your little friend don't come holler at you down that month, you knew what it was. You come holler at Scooter. Oh, Scooter, hey, you know what? It ain't no did you. You know, hey, them bed sheets wasn't crunchy, so you know I didn't do it on the bed sheets. So at the same time, I know you got yours off and I got mine off, but I'm responsible enough to say that, hey, listen, I understand the plan that we did. I understand the plan that we had that night. Now, what are we gonna do going forward? Now, if you decide to say, well, hey, listen, I really don't want to have this child because I'm trying to create a career for me and so on and so on. I understand that right there. But who's to say God gonna give me another chance to have another child? So with that being said, let's compromise and see if we can come to an agreement. You don't have to worry about the child. Let me have it and I'll take care of it. I'm not gonna go look for no people knocking on your door. Ma'am, you're being served for child support. No, we're not going that route, because we can go before a notary and both of us can make that agreement right then and there and go before a judge and get that understood that, hey, she's just a carrier. I'm gonna be everything.
Wait. Lita,
yeah.
would you agree? Lita, would you agree that she's a rare type of guy? Can't hear you, baby.
We can't hear you, Lita.
Get inside. No.
Uh-oh. What happened to Lita? Lita, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. You can't put that headpiece in. No, you can't. You got to take your headpiece out.
Yeah, especially if you got an Apple.
Yeah, if you got a phone, you can't put the headpiece in. You got to take it out. Nope, can't hear you.
You might be muted.
No, she's not muted.
No.
Hold on, y'all. Give me about 2 minutes. Finna run downstairs real quick.
All right. Lita, nah.
Now you're muted.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah, you can't put no headset or nothing like that. You can't do that.
It was in before, but then my daughter had called.
Oh, the phone call threw it off.
Yeah, phone call. Yeah, right.
So, what was the question?
So I said he's a rare type of guy because a lot of guys don't really communicate and say, you know, well, you know what? He started off saying something about the woman being missing her period. So I think we have to ask him about it. But he's basically communicating with the woman that he's been with, and he's basically like, you know, what we're going to do. We need to talk this through. And I said he's kind of rare. You don't, you know, have a lot of men that come up to you and be like, what we gonna do?
Nah, that's not true.
I mean, if you're in a union as far as partnership, like you know,
that ain't true. That ain't true. I'm speaking. I'm not speaking for all men, but that's not because I would do the same. I didn't have to do the same thing, but I'm not saying that just to be talking. I'm not being funny. I would have done the same thing. I say, yo, you don't want to keep the baby? Give the baby me because I got a loving family. Come on. But you know what I'm saying? I would do that because guess what? At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? I understand what it is to be responsible and and take ownership of my actions.
Okay.
And that's basically that's it. You just take a bit.
This, and I don't want you to think I'm being selfish. That's fine. All well and fine to give the baby to you. Y'all gonna take care of it. But what we supposed to do for 9 months?
Okay, now watch this. Now listen. And I'm almost certain any man that says he'll take the child 9 times out of 10, he know that the woman got to go through something. So he'll do whatever it takes to make sure you're good. I'm speaking for just some men because all men say I ain't doing that, but the good guys would do that. So you got to go to Lamar's classes, you got to go to the doctor. He's going to take because guess what? At the end of the day, he realizes that you're carrying his child, so he want to make sure that you're good. He want to make sure you're healthy. He want to make sure you got everything that you need because guess what? You're carrying his child. That's only for the men who understand that. Hold up. She's carrying my child. Let me make sure she's good. Let me make sure she need anything that she needs. I'm going to supply. I'm going to get. You know what I'm saying? And he's going to do that. And so hey, Scooter. Lita want to know what was you saying? Go ahead, Tanika.
One more time.
Mm-hmm.
What you said about?
You were saying basically about you were going to her and saying, you know, but I think you mentioned something about she would tell you if she missed the period or something to let you know she was pregnant, right? So that's why I was saying, like, you know,
explain that again. Explain that again.
It's like any situation with a man, you know, and if you that's like I was saying earlier, you know, like it ain't no amount of alcohol that you know you don't know what you're doing. You know what I mean? And some people can wake up and say, "Hey, look, I blacked out last night. Dang, what happened?" But at the end of the day, you know, if you woke up naked and I woke up naked, you know, we ain't just get in the bed and say, "Okay, we Adam and Eve, we're gonna walk around naked." And if you came to me, I don't know when, but you tell me that your little friend ain't came to town this month. You know what I'm saying? Then I already know what to be expecting. And then you come to me and you tell me, well, hey, you know, I'm trying to create a career for myself and I don't want this child to intervene to mess everything up. So I don't want to have no child. But my thing is, you know, if you feel that way, well, let's communicate and come to a solution to where, you know, we don't have to end a life in order for you to make a life. You know, you can give it to me and I can take that and, you know, you can go and, you know, go be Hollywood. I'm not going to look for you.
Rare. What he just said there, give me the child and you go be Hollywood. You don't hear men say stuff like that.
But you got to listen, hey, Tanika, but because like I wanted him to say it again. This is what I'm saying is that It depends on the individual that you're dealing with. Because I said this, I would do the same thing, because guess what? I would not want. Now, I was dating a girl before, right? And she had 3 children, right? I was willing to love those children no matter what, right? She had 3 children, and she was her first 2 children she had when she was young. And as women, that if you have a child too early, that you can't have another one right back. So I think she was 16. She had one 16 and 17. Her body was not even getting the proper rest. So at that age, you can't have another kid. She had a third one, maybe 4 years after that, then it was okay. But they told her if she have another child after that, possibly she could die, right? So she didn't. The point that I'm saying is that, guess what? So do you guys understand why I'm talking about this? Guess what? She had an abortion. It was my child, right? Guess what? I respected her decision, but I was like, nah, I'm gonna be here, right? I can't force her. I can't make her say no. I said no, but she had it anyway. You understand what I'm saying? So was it fair to me to say I said no? Because guess what? I know I'm gonna be a good father. My children, they all straight. They good. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? She decided that. You know what I'm saying? Yes, she had 3 kids, but at the end of the day, guess what? She knew what she was getting into when she laid down with me. I laid down with her. But guess what? It was her ultimately decision of not having a child. And guess what? She made that decision, right? And I didn't have an opportunity to say. I said no, right? Because guess what? I was. Yeah.
You and Scooter.
Okay.
With the current law that done passed today, do y'all agree with this law that done passed today?
No, I don't even agree with the people who passing the law. Like, this is the thing with me. Like, we can go on and on and on about abortion, but at the end of the day, it goes back. It goes to the same thing. Not everybody gonna be adults and use protection. You know what I mean? And I'm quite sure half the folks that even came up with the law done had kids outside of they marriage. And you go back to them and you ask them the same thing. The first thing they're gonna tell you is that they wasn't grown, but they was trying to be grown. They was doing grown people things. And when you put on them grown people, when you play grown people games, you win what grown people win. And God said it automatically. I was listening to y'all earlier, and I heard one of y'all say something about the church, and but if we go on that far, God said in the Bible, live and be fruitfully and multiply. He didn't say live and decide to go kill the child. Nah.
Also,
Don't agree with the law.
Hold on, leader.
go ahead.
Hold on, leader. What you say, leader?
So then, Chef Dennis, you agree with the law that has been passed at Roe versus Wade. So you agree that they should reverse it.
Hold on.
I couldn't hear it because it was going in and out.
I know. Hold on.
Do you
Hold
agree that the Roe versus Wade should have been?
Say it again, leader.
So do you agree with Roe versus Wade should have been overturned?
I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm gonna keep it funky with you. I don't know nothing about that. I don't do politics because I got my views on all of that is totally different. You know what I'm saying?
So Roe versus Wade basically.
So explain to me.
Away from a woman's right to choose. It's saying that a woman basically has a man in the procedure room with her. Basically, that's what it is. Saying that we cannot make our decisions medically without the man telling us that what we can and cannot do. So basically, we can't get an abortion.
All right, so I had to mute you real quick, Scooter, because it was a lot of noise in the back. But you back on now. All right, so leader, I'm now. So with that being said, it's like this: if they're saying that the man who had you carrying the child of, that y'all both have to come to an agreement of having a child and not having a child?
No, I'm not saying that.
What are you saying?
The law is the law. That is not talking about you and a man, not me and you in a relationship. It's a woman's right to choose, period. They've taken that right away from us. That's what's on that's basically when you go vote, you got Joe Biden, who is for us, Donald Trump that's not for us. So he's saying he gonna roll with them. Donald Trump rolling with us.
But that's a decision. I mean, you know,
that's a
I
slippery
look at
slope
it
for
like
me.
this. I don't.
What Wood was trying to tell you yesterday.
It's a decision. That's a decision that both parties, like, you know. I look at it like this. To be honest with you, you know, for them to pass that type of law like that right there, let's just be honest. You know, if me and you went to the hospital and they are telling you, you know, like, oh, ma'am, do you want to have this child or whatever like that right there? My thought is like this. Hey, listen, man, you can go out of this room. Me and her already came up with a solution. So whatever you trying to convince and trying to do, you know, go vote somebody for somebody else. But other than that, that's just a decision that you and that man who you wind up getting pregnant by should make a decision, not a third party, because the third party wasn't in the room unless y'all was having a threesome.
All right, so Lita, I feel like what you just said to me. I feel like in the process of you know deciding to have an abortion, should it be solely the woman's right? You saying?
Yeah, it should be solely a woman's right to choose.
It's a slippery slope because it depends on the circumstance. It depends on the circumstance. I'm not going to say yeah. I'm not going to say no because that's truly a slippery slope because at the end of the day, you got to look at the circumstances because you know what I'm saying. Some people do things because how they feel because they feel like it's not the right situation. But you gotta listen. I'm being honest. It's a slippery slope for me.
You've been in college, Shanika.
Yes.
I've been in college too. So
you've been to college. You've been to college parties.
Yes.
Oh, I've been to a lot of them.
Okay, so you know about roofies.
Yep.
Drinks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Date rape.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you know about getting pregnant off the date rape.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna keep it real and funky with you. Guess what? Before you walk into that, right? And this is, I tell you, circumstances are not always what we think it should be, right? But when you walk into something like that, there is a possibility things like that can happen. That's just the same thing. A person that goes into the club and they drinking and they smoking. They know there is a possibility somebody can slip something they drink, and guess what? Something can happen. That's anybody on any level. But there's no guarantees that cannot happen to anybody.
And then that girl finds out she pregnant due to a date rape. You telling her she got to go in a doctor's office, and then they tell her, "Oh, well, you can't get an abortion because of this law that done passed." That ain't right.
But all right, hold on. Somebody said something. I'm gonna read what they said. It says, I will say abortion is a fascinating topic because it intersects moral, legal, medical, ethics, personal choice, and privacy concerns. That's what this person said on it. They comment. And that is true. You know what I'm saying? And that's I
want to say something.
Oh, okay. And then back to hold on, Tanika, I'm gonna let you get in. Lita, but you got like I said, you got to and see. Let's not forget that we all have the ability to make wise decisions and wise choices, and in those choices that we decide has a consequence in those decisions that we make, and in that decision put like this. All right, so then I'm gonna let you say, Tanika. Here's one thing for you. We know that drinking and driving has a consequence, but do people still do it? Do they still do it?
Yes.
Exactly. They still
Hush,
do it.
Mike.
So it's the same thing about going to a party, and going to that party, people say, you know what, there's a possibility this can happen. So let me be careful. Let me be mindful. Let me watch what I do. Let me watch what I drink. You know what I'm saying? So, and nobody looks at those consequences because they're having a good time. They're having fun. They say, you know what, forget that. I'm gonna dismiss that. I'm gonna do what I want to do. It's my choice. But because it's my choice, I'm looking at the consequences. And go ahead, Tanika. I know you wanted to say something.
Thank you.
Hold on. Hold on. Let me mute her right now until she come back. You still in? Huh? Hold on.
She's saying something.
No. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Tanika.
Okay. I want to get back to the moral thing about, we talk about God and, multiplying. Please stop talking like, the condom is not a way of preventing children. Like,
No.
everybody disregards the condom part. Like, oh, go have safe sex. You're not going to have kids. You're doing it morally when you don't have sex, when you have sex with no condom. You're doing it morally that way when you're multiplying. When you sit up here and bring the Bible and you sit up here, the contraceptive is still the condom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm having technical difficulties.
You can always come back. So it's not.
But let me intervene
Scooter,
on what you do.
Hey, Scooter, hold on. Somebody else made a comment. I want you guys because I don't. Can you guys not looking? You can't see the comments, so I'm gonna read the comments. Then I'm gonna let you go. It says, "Does the panel have a position on whether human life begins at conception? If so, at what point does a human life have a right to life?" Did you hear me, Tanika? I mean, Tanika, Scooter, did you hear me, Lita? Lita, did y'all hear me?
Yeah, I heard you.
Lita, did you hear me? Lita. Can't hear you, Lita. No, she. Tanika, you heard me?
Mm-hmm.
I can hear you.
Okay. Did you hear what I said? I read
What'd
the
you
comment.
say?
Did you hear the comment? All right, I said the person said, does the panel have a position on whether human life begins at conception? If so, at what point does a human life have a right to life? All right, now go ahead, Scooter. Scooter, go ahead.
It has it legitimately has a right to life the day that the woman find out that she's pregnant, because for the simple reason, and it goes back to what she was just saying about the Bible. It goes back to what I said earlier. Both parties are got to be aware of what they're doing. And if I know what I'm doing and you know what you're doing, then hey, we're gonna be fruitful and multiply.
That's a tough question. I'm not good with the weeks and how, like, I think Lita, you mentioned something about 20 weeks.
Right.
So I'm not really sure, but I do understand what Scooter's saying about it being, when it happens, when you know that you are pregnant, that is when, life is life.
Yeah.
So I'll say that. But again, every situation is different. Manipulation. Yeah. I want to say manipulation in a situation can be very tricky and it can cause issues. So if we take manipulation out and it's all good, then you should be able to communicate about it. But if manipulation in the relationship is happening and somebody's not telling the truth or somebody's keeping, information, then, it can be tricky. It can be slippery.
Yeah.
Okay, let me show y'all. Let me show you something. Like, I'll tell you this right here about me. Now, at the time that I was going to high school, before I got ready to go to college, I was talking to this girl, and I never knew how old she was, because my mom always told me, you never ask a woman her age, especially if you know that this is a grown woman. So at the end of at the time, my mom would tell me all the time, Scooter, who you talking to? And I was like, what you talking about? And she was like, I know you got a little girlfriend, friend, whatever you want to call it. So I tell her who it was or whatever. And I was like, well, she only come around and pick me up sometimes late at night. And then she was like, well, one day bring over her in the daytime and let me meet her. But she would never want me to bring her over there during the day to meet my mama. So one day I brought her over there at nighttime. And my mama seen her. And the first thing my mama told me was, boy, leave that damn woman alone. Because that's a grown-ass woman. And I was like, huh? And she was like, oh, I'm going to show you. Just wait till she come back over here. So long story short, kind of find out, I was at that time 17 and she was like 30, 35, 36, something like that right there. And my mom was like, well, that's how the hell you getting all them damn video games, them new shoes and clothes and stuff like that right there. And I was like, no, because me and her, we supposed to be together. And she was like, boy, let me tell you something. That woman ain't doing nothing but pimping you. And I was like, pimping me. And she was like, what do you do when you normally go over her house? I say, shoot, that's all she want to do is have sex, because she keeps saying she want to get pregnant. And her husband couldn't get her pregnant. And she was like, are you using protection? And I said, yeah. And the lady keep telling me, no, she be trying to pull it off, but I put it back on. And my mom was like, you better not never take that rub off. But at the end of the day, when I realized how the situation went when I got older, I realized that, hey, when you say manipulation, women manipulate like a mother. And that goes back to Adam and Eve. And, that's why I tell anybody, man, I ain't scared to tell nobody, hey, look, I got pimped at a certain age by a female. And she wanted to pimp me to get pregnant. And when she realized that my mama had intercepted that program and told me to keep a rub on, it was adios. I'm not buying you nothing else. I need my money back. And I need this and that. I hope you fail and you don't go to college and all this right here. And it was what it was.
I don't know. Just going off
Lita, hold on. The guy made another comment. He said, how should society balance a right to life against a woman's right to choose whether to bring a human life to full term? He said, gotta balance. Great insight, everyone. So that's what he's saying, Dion Black. He said, how should society balance a right to life against a woman's right to choose whether to bring a human life to full term?
I agree.
That was a question.
That was a question. I mean, I agree with his point of view. My thing is, okay, I'm still gonna have my stance no matter what.
No doubt.
It just is what it is. I think a woman should have their right to choose. Period.
Do you have the right? Yeah.
I believe a heartbeat for a child is within, if by memory of recollection, is within days of conception, maybe even a week. So they do have a heartbeat, but it's not recognizable. It wouldn't be recognizable until after maybe a month, where they can hear it on a sonogram. I think. I'm not really sure, because I mean my last child is 9 years old, but just going off of memory, I think it is. So it basically, when it's conceived, it's a baby, which is called a zygote. So it's there. Going back to the Bible, like I said, whether a woman chooses to abort or whether she chooses to carry the full term, if she chooses to abort, it's her choice. She have to pray and ask God to forgive her and do what she got to do.
All right, look, what you just said. You said you got to ask God to forgive you for having an abortion, right?
Right.
Tanika, you still there?
Yeah,
I can't see you. You good?
I'm listening.
Okay, because I want that. Get that energy. It's Friday. Look, listen, it's the weekend. Okay, I don't want to see you down like that.
No,
But
no.
look, so you said ask God for forgiveness, right?
I mean,
Right.
because if
No,
you
I'm asking. You said ask God
you're
for
a
forgiveness. Right?
spiritual person in the Bible, it says be fruitful and multiply. So if you're a Bible person, you are going against God, but you're also going against God when you have premarital sex
Mhm.
and everything else that we're doing. So let's just be honest.
And using the
Okay.
condom. And using
All
the condom.
All right,
No,
all right.
no,
Hold on.
no.
Wait. Hey, Scooter, hold on. I'm gonna let you chime in. I'm gonna let you chime in. Hey, Lita, watch this. Now, listen. You said you have a choice to choose who you sleep with, right? Right?
I mean,
I-
at
Come
some
on.
at
You
some
gotta. All right. Now, you dismiss everything else, all the moral standards of what you believe in. You say, look, I'm gonna have me some fun. I'm gonna get entangled with Jeffrey. Right?
Mhm.
Now, guess what? Oops, a mistake happened. We didn't have protective sex. Now I'm pregnant. Now you say, one night of pleasure. Now I'm gonna say, you know what? Man, listen, I ain't having this kid. Now you go and have an abortion. You didn't think about the consequences, did you? Yep. It's your body, but you made a choice. I'm gonna lay down with him no matter what, irregardless of what may come out of this. You said, I don't care. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. It's my body, right? Right?
Right.
Okay. But now I'm gonna give you another example so you can see, so you can understand it clearly. Guess what? I'm gonna direct this to me and Scooter because most women don't do this. Now, listen, it's the same thing. Like some people say, that's different. No, guess what? I'm gonna make a choice. Me and Scooter to say, you know what? We gonna rob this bank. In robbing this bank, it's a consequence. We might get killed or we might get caught and go to prison. We got a choice to make. So you can make a wise choice and say, "No, I'm not doing that," or you can say, "You know what? I'm gonna take a chance of not slipping up. Might not get pregnant. Might not get pregnant this time. But at the end of the day, guess what? We got a choice. We got free will to do what we want. And God says, listen, you're not supposed to do this. There's a consequence that comes with it. Are you willing to pay that consequence of your actions?" And guess what? You said you talk about God, right? Mm-hmm. God is the one who really authors you having that child or not. He says, okay, Lita and Jeffrey, you ain't supposed to do that. So now I'm allowing you to have a child. We do not have sole control over that. You can say what you want to say. Because guess what? I know there are many people that have sex with their individuals and they don't have no kids. Unprotected sex, they don't have no children. None. And guess what? Who's to say who is the life of creator? Not me. God. God creates all life. In any situation, any circumstance, God creates life. But right or wrong, Lita, Scooter.
When you have, okay, so what you doing if you have birth control, which if a person has, let's just say, an IUD in place, then they use condoms, and then she's still pregnant.
You still watch this. You're still doing something, and there's a like this. Lita, didn't they tell you it's a possibility you still can get pregnant? Tell me they didn't tell you that.
And when they told me it's a possibility that I could,
God daggone you, daggone right. They told you it's a possibility you still get pregnant. And guess what? You still want to go like this. Look, you looking, you still want to go like this.
Yeah.
And guess what?
Let me ask you something right quick. Yeah. Like I heard you say like about the Bible, right?
Yeah.
And you know, but at the end of the day, that if you know about the Bible, then you should know that a lot of kids are having babies, and these are babies are having babies, right?
Yes.
But
Yes.
but at least I say statistic wise, 70% of them have never picked the Bible up to understand and get the understanding of the word. So
Okay.
don't the Bible tell you this right here? It'd be best you not understand one word in the Bible to be held accountable for your actions.
Mm.
So with that being said, by her getting pregnant and she don't know anything about God's law, then she's not held accountable until she comes into knowledge of him.
Hold on.
And when she
Hold on.
comes into knowledge of him,
Mhm.
then that plays a major part. But the question I wanted to ask you was, now you say about women, you know, having kids and they don't want kids or whatever like that right there. But then 9 out of 10, majority of the women that have abortions, let me ask you this question. I bet you, and I'd be willing to put anything on it, probably 80% of them still have unprotected sex to this day.
They do.
Yeah. Of
Hoping that they
course.
don't get pregnant again.
I'm
Of course.
gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna be real 100% honest with you. They all have abortions, and because I used to work at a clinic, they'll have abortions and be out there on the line where
Yeah.
women are having abortions with the signs. And I'm looking like, but you out here picketing though, but you done had an abortion, but you trying to tell them what they should do, but you done had an abortion. How you gonna judge them? But
Exactly.
that's my, you know what I'm saying? That's me being on personal. But that's how they do.
Wait, but look, that he just brought it. Go ahead, Tanika. You want to say something? Go ahead.
That's hypocrites, basically.
That's what they are.
Right. And now you know what? He just brought up a great point. Excuse me.
But when you start taking away a woman's right to choose, I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. People gonna still do it anyway. And then that's when they're gonna start doing the stuff where they're gonna start killing themselves.
Mm.
Because they don't have the underground doctors that's doing it. Where we
But
have stuff now.
Hold on, old school.
They're gonna start going underground getting it done.
Okay, but go ahead, school. What you gonna say?
And that's
but,
putting
but
health at danger. Because
yeah, but
just like drugs, they say you shouldn't do drugs. Okay, so what do people do when they want to get illegal drugs? They gonna go get their illegal drugs. So you can tell us all day, oh, well, you can't get it done. It's doctors that perform illegal procedures. People gonna still do what they gonna do.
yeah,
Right.
but at the end of the day, you know, I look at it like this, you know, with what's going on today, you know, this is pretty much like Sodom and Gomorrah, and you know, everybody want to play God. You have these abortion clinics, all this stuff right here, and I'll show you one thing that's an example. My homeboy, his girl, he took her to the emergency room down here in Dallas, and when she went to the emergency room, because she said she wasn't feeling good, and they tested her, and then they told her that she had an STD. So they prescribed her some what you call them things, penicillin, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when she left the hospital, you know, they went to go get the medicine. But my sister was like, girl, if I was you, I wouldn't even take that. I'd go get a second opinion. So bam, they went to another hospital and they did some blood work on her, come right back. The girl was pregnant. Nothing wrong with her, no STD, no nothing. So who playing God now? If I know this, if I know this is a populated scenario, let's just say populated scenario, just like you was talking about in China about them having them kids and they can only have 2.
Mm-hmm.
And you see in the United States, the African American race pretty much finna overrun this country. And in other terms, the devil is like, you know, we can't let that happen. So at the end of the day, now we promoting birth control, and they talking about putting it in Walmart, Walgreens, all these pharmacies, birth control pills, you know, and all this stuff right here. but ain't none of that stuff 100% pure. Just like he just said, you know, God is the creator of life. And if God feel that, yeah, okay, she just took 2 birth control pills, but she laying down with Scooter, you know, it ain't gonna matter. I'm gonna wave them birth controls off. She finna get pregnant. Now we're gonna use them 2 to see if they gonna be grown enough and responsible enough to birth this child. Because if she's saying in her head that she don't want it, and I already know what she's saying, she don't want it, but he want it, then we're gonna see if them 2 can compromise and allow this child to come to pass. But if not, then who's gonna have a final say so and become the judge?
What you want to say, Tanika? Because I know you was itching. Come on, let me hear what you got to say.
Yeah.
What you talking to? Come on.
I love life. I love people. And I think that, you know, we are living in a world of ignorance. And, you know, we are so ignorant of our women, female. Female has all the power, and these males are trying to take it away from the females. That's how I see it. That's basically it. I understand everything that y'all saying, okay? I truly do, and I respect it. That's beautiful. It's beautiful as men to be standing on the fact that you want to have your child and, you know, want to be there for your child if you ever got a woman pregnant. That's a beautiful thing. We need more men like that. But ultimately, it is the woman's choice. And that power was given to only a woman to birth a child. So for any other authority to come in and say that she should not have a child or should have a child, should not have no right. There is no other authority. Now you can put God and put the Bible in it and put all the morals and all that, but you were created to either have a child through your vagina or not. And the woman is the only one. So if the woman knows, living in the world that we live in, that she does not want to have a child, she should make that right.
But
and only.
And with
Wait.
Hold on.
Back off that. This is the reason why Donald Trump is going to lose the 2024 election. Because
because I'm gonna be the president. All y'all gotta do is go to www.nigga.please.com and vote for me.
Yeah. Hey, yo. All seriousness, women is on the ballot. You're either gonna put this man in charge of saying he taking away our rights, or put this other man in charge. And so many women are swinging this way to Biden just because of that. Because you're not coming in the room telling us what we're going to do. We didn't burn no bras in 1922 and do all of this for y'all to set us backwards.
Look, that's what society and at the end of the day, real talk, like we talk about empowerment, women empower, men empower. We talk about that, but we're really not looking at the whole thing. The whole thing is that unity. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about that. You talk about you having your power, you have authority over your body. Let's talk about unity when it comes down to that, because guess what? It takes 2 to tangle. And because it takes 2 to tangle, guess what? That is an equal decision. Because guess what? Before you lay down with that man, you chose to lay down with that man for whatever reason it is. It's not just your soul right to say, you know what? I chose to lay down with you, but now it's my only decision and only mine to say I'm not having this child. But you're not property.
You're not. Huh? We're not property, just like you're not property.
No, but look. Okay. Listen, you choose.
Like we're property.
No, it's not property. But yeah.
But it's the thing. The thing of it is that a lot of women will use kids as leverage to
them toxic women
to get what they want. And you know, and again, like I'll explain to you, like with me, with my son, baby, with my son's mom, you know, the first day, but the one I went to put myself on child support, and I asked her, you know, I said, well, hey, you know, I understand you probably in a tight situation, you jumping from place to place. Let him come stay with me and you know, you get him on the weekends. And whatever you getting for him, if you're getting food stamps, checks, whatever, I don't care. You can keep that, you know. And she said no. And then what, 3 days or a week later, my son come downstairs and he said, "Hey, my mama told me to ask you this." Now, this reminds you, this is a 15-year-old coming downstairs asking me. My mama said, sign your rights over, and she'll let me stay with you. And I told him, boy, if I wouldn't have been thinking that he was a child, I said, man, you know, it's something I would have told you to go back and tell your mama, but I'm gonna go and talk to her myself. But at the end of the day, you know, when I talked to her, she said, "Hey, listen, check this out. Just give me or sign your rights over, and you can get them." And I said, "No, I ain't gonna be able to do that." But to make a long story short, when I asked her, "Why would you go that route?" she said, "You know, really, I didn't want to have him anyways, but I went ahead and did it, you know, whatever." So I took him, and now he in college. But now she feel like, oh, he going to go be something. Now it's time for me to stand up and say, "Oh, you better remember me, because I'm your mom." And like I told my son, it don't make no difference, man, of how you move throughout life. No matter what me and your mama may went through, disagreements or whatever, you still respect her as a woman, and you treat her as your mother, and you don't never disrespect her, man. I don't care if she tell you bad stories of what I used to do and this and that right there. That ain't got nothing to do with you and your anger. Your anger, if you feel like you want to be mad at somebody, be mad at me for failing you of treating a woman like a woman. And that's just it. So now, you know, like when I talk to him, every chance I get to when he at college, you know, like he tell me all the time, "Thank you for opening my ears and my eyes, because now I'm seeing women for who they are, not for what they can do and bring." And I said, "Exactly, man." And that's the thing that I want you to go through life and understand, that a woman is not always guaranteed to be there for you. So your mission in life is, man, learn, defend for yourself. Because when you have kids, if you have kids, a woman can easily get up and say, "You know what, I don't really even want to be with him. I want to go be with Tommy, the dude across the street that drive the Grand Marquis with the rims on it, that sell all the dope in the neighborhood, versus being with a man at work." Let her go. You don't have, when you say that you married, that's an oath that you made before God. But at the end of the day, how many people in this world gonna keep that oath? Because you see people that went divorced, you see people that's married and still sleeping with other women. Hey, but at the end, but it goes back to a woman making a choice about having a kid. It's the same thing, you know, with a man. If I lay down with you and I don't want to have no kid, and you come telling me that you're pregnant, hey, the first thing a weak cat gonna do is say, "Man, you know, that's on you. That's your problem." But a real man gonna stand up and say, "You know what? I'm gonna take care of my responsibilities like I supposed to, because, you know, man, I don't care how bad I may have been hurt in my life, but that child don't deserve nothing that happened in my past. So if we're gonna bring it in this world, we're gonna do it. But if we not, then hey, let's compromise. Give it to me. Then you ain't gotta worry about you. Matter of fact, you don't even have to mention my name no more. You know, when you have that baby, please just tell them to put them in put them right. I'll be right. Matter of fact, I'll be right there. So I can make sure I got the bottles, everything, Pampers, whatever they need to go. We gonna call this shop Go and Go. If you don't want it, we can go and go.
And like me and Tanika said, we wish we had more men like you and Dennis around, but everybody not like y'all. So, and we don't have them situations. So, because we have to have what we have in place. So it ain't all fairy tales and roses.
Oh, I
Sorry.
know. I watched my mama raise me and my sister, and I put her through I put her through hell. But at the end of the day, she never gave up. She kept on going, and she kept teaching me as I got older. Don't you ever in your life raise your hand at a woman or disrespect her. She disrespect you, there's a certain thing called walk off.
But ladies, but you gotta realize, you said men like us, but you gotta realize it's the type of men that you choose too. You know what I'm saying? What you look for in a man, you know what I'm saying? And those decisions that you make, you know, sometimes you make bad decisions. and get messed up results. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it. Just like me, you know what I'm saying? Like, or Scooter, you know, when you decide to choose individual, you don't look to. I'm pretty sure that most women not looking to say, you know what, I'm looking for my future husband right away. They like, yo, let me see what he can offer at this moment, and then if it transpire to a bigger relationship, then we go to that. Do you say that, Sneaker? Do y'all do the women do that?
I mean, yeah, I agree. I mean, but basically, still, it is a woman's right. I will stick with that. You can say everything y'all been saying, and I hear you. I hear you all day long.
Yeah.
I hear you.
We gonna call the police on you. We gonna call the police on you. We calling the police on you.
You call the police on her, yo. You go to school.
Yeah.
We ain't finna call the police on my friend. And y'all have to mind me. I'm doing my housework and I'm listening.
We done seen you put up by 4 or 5 guns, so you next.
Yo. Hey, listen, I'm gonna have to cut this one off because this man, y'all, man, look, they might want to watch this. Yo, it's been over 2 hours, but listen, Lita and Scooter, part 2 is gonna be on Monday. I got some new guests coming on too, so y'all welcome to come on Monday because this person want to come on Monday. It's at 6:30. So, hey, Scooter, I got your email. Lita, I got yours. You just email me, let me know if you guys want to come on. It's gonna be part 2 of the same topic because I got a lot of people that was itching to get on here and talk about this because it was real juicy. And you know what I'm saying? So I just want to let you guys know you're welcome to come on again and let people know about it. And they can come and subscribe to the channel. It's at Chef Dennis -32. They can come check it out, check out some of the other topics that we have on here. And listen, if they want to be a guest, they're more welcome to come on and we can talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad to have you guys on here. You guys are welcome to come on anytime. Just shoot me an email and we can talk about just about anything. All right?
Yeah, hold on. Oh yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah,
You got it?
Have Michelle Obama calling. She don't want me.
Hey, yo, I got you, Scoot. I'm gonna text you, yo.
Already.
All right, Lita. Lita. You hit me with the emails. I got you, all right?
Bye, Lita. It was great talking to you. Oh,
man, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. No, you can't hear her. No. Nope, we can't hear you.
Bye. Bye, Chef.
All right, see you later. Great show tonight, guys.